Oh no.
All right. So,
Chris,
hey, really
put it down a
quickly,
little bit.
if there was a lady named Sue, is there any way for Mary to transfer her genes to Sue? Into Sue.
If they love each other very much.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Shut your mouth. All right. Just so we know, in most organisms, there's not what we call horizontal transfer. So transfer between me and, for example, somebody else. So I can't just give her a gene. Like she can't be like, oh, I want your ADD genes. Like, oh. Okay. So that would be called horizontal transfer. Just so you know, in this kind of theory, we have to generate a child. We have to generate the next generation in order to transfer information.
Wait, so it's horizontal versus vertical transfer.
Yeah. Wait, but yeah, in a way, yeah, sure.
What if what if, this is going to be in theory, if someone cut off their finger and then made someone else eat it,
Okay, all right. Okay, yes, this is a question for another time. So, the interesting thing about Darwin's theory of descent with modification is that young Joe...
Like young Joe Biden, he was hot.
no, it isn't.
Young Joe, is there any genetic change between young Joe and old Joe?
No.
I mean, not genetic.
There's no genetic change between young Joe and old Joe. So, but Darwin's theory was that any change between young Joe and old Joe would not be passed down to baby Sinead. This is very important. Darwin's theory was that over young Joe's lifetime, between young Joe and old Joe, there would be no changes that would be passed down. There might be changes between young Joe and old Joe. But Darwin suggested that those things were not passed down. This guy revolutionized science, right? So about everything that we've come up with in biology up till about 10 years ago was based on this Darwinian theory.
So basically it's just saying that only things that are mutated are going to be able to be heritable.
Right. But what do we know now?
Lamarck.
Okay. So yes, we have to modify Darwin's descent with modification idea to include the idea of epigenetics. Specifically, that young Joe can accumulate modifications to their DNA that can then be passed down. So it's not just modification during descent. It's not just modification during copying that gets passed down. So descent is the actual transfer. For example, the production of sperm. Right? That's the descending part. But we know now that a mistake could happen, or change to the backbone of DNA could happen, that would result in baby Sinead being different.
Well, you said Sinead.
Does this mean Darwin was wrong?
No.
It
must all be answers to the test.
Right.
I can't believe this.
That was the closest approximation of truth.
And that was the one question I got wrong.
Yes, there could be.
I love it. Well, it does prove the theory wrong. Sort of. No, it doesn't. No, but was there
But even then, you're having vertical
was
transfer.
there an answer for that in the quiz?
There's a parent cell and a younger cell.
I think that's pretty wrong.
So it's still vertical transfer, believe it or not.
Oh, Luke.
Right? Because the DNA of the one cell isn't really changing. It's being changed when it's copied.
Sure.
Yeah.
Quick interdisciplinary connection. In our ISOS class, we have this sort of idea that science and other methods, math, etc., they're all coming up with sort of an approximation of what's really happening. Do you subscribe to this idea?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
The truth.
So the very sucky thing about everything that I've taught you is that it's all thoughts, it's all intellect, right? And it will never actually describe what is really happening
Because truth and chemistry, we have no way of understanding.
because it's too complex. You throw a baseball up and it falls, and you can describe that motion with an equation: half a t squared plus v1 t equals or plus d, right? Do you guys know that one?
Plus D. Yeah.
Yes.
Basically, objects fall quicker as the longer they fall. But you start to look at that and you start to notice that the air matters, and the stitching on the ball matters, and the fan matters, and then your height, your relative height from the ground matters, where you are in the world matters, solar flares matters, right? And suddenly your equation to describe this simple ball throwing thing, everything, butterfly effect, right? Everything affects it. There is an electromagnetic pulse billions of miles away. If it hits this thing, even to some small degree, it does affect it. Right? So they become, the real world is far more complex than our ability to conceive of it. And so what we're doing is just basically coming up with this theory, and every time we find out that the theory doesn't match the exact world, we try to modify the theory to get a little bit closer. So it's a limits problem. So if this is the actual, this will be the theory. The theory will never actually will never actually intersect the actual. We'll get closer and
Log
closer
function.
and closer and
Unless we're all
closer,
living
and
inside
then
the
we'll all die.
It's like how when you were little, you learned that 2 minus 3 is impossible, but then once you got to 3rd grade, you realized that it was like they taught you that it wasn't. They're all
No,
they're all
that is not an
useful
example of
lies.
that.
No, but it is
No,
because
it's not.
no, it is though.
Okay, I can't argue with it
Okay,
now.
sorry. Sorry.
That's all right. All right. So, in evolution, this idea of descent with modification is one of the. So, like, if you're taking an AP test, don't answer that descent with modification is wrong. Right. Right. But also, an AP test is not going to have this idea.
Wait.
Yeah.
All of our weekend tests are those designed to approximate AP tests?
Can you let us review our quizzes?
Yes. Next week.
Oh, okay.
I've altered the way we do this because there's in this school like deadlines are fluid.
Okay.
Apparently.
Yep.
Yes.
3 minutes.
Thank you. All right. Can you give?
Open.
Okay.
Soccer.
Okay. Let's try this. I have blue eyes. My child has blue eyes. Or sorry, my wife has blue eyes. What? I have a baby with my wife. Shut up.
I'm a pterodactyl.
I'm glad this is all
This is
good.
taped. I'm going to show this to my mom, and she's going to be really mad at you.
No, I'm gonna
So my
upload
baby
it because
has
I have
brown
access to your.
Is that descent with modification, or is that an epigenetic modification to that theory?
epigenetic one?
No, it's
Descent with
modification.
Wouldn't it be either?
Descent with modification.
Either. But did she do it with the mercury?
Okay, so let's try this one. Now, I suffer abuse as a child,
Oh.
have high anxiety.
Epigenetics.
This is on the test.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you're giving everybody the answers. To
Yeah, and
the
I
test.
took the test yesterday and I'm a
Shut
little
up. Well,
salty.
then don't get it wrong. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Are BPAs on the test?
Mm-mm.
No.
All right.
Although this descent with modification was on the test, and I don't recall
This
being
whole
taught
thing
this
is like-
previously.
Descent with modification is a name for a theory that we already know.
Yes, but there were questions on the test regarding like Darwin and his specific.
Okay.
But we
Can we
learned
discuss them
about
outside of
that.
class?
Yeah.
Thanks. All right. Okay. Good class. Thank you. We achieved all of the goals for today. Good job. You have a presentation due on Tuesday.